to the Haunted Hangover podcast. I'm Louie. I'm joined by a special guest, a good friend of mine, fellow Queens kid, Jason from TrueHorror.net. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. It's been a while.
It's been a minute. Funny enough, and we were talking before we started here, I had you on 2019 before the podcast. We sat in my old apartment and recorded an interview before I knew what the hell I was even doing with Haunted Hangover. I could not tell you what we even talked about. We talked for like 20 minutes or something, and I don't even remember what we talked about. Do you remember?
I think we just talked about, I remember talking about kind of like the stuff we're probably going to talk about today a little bit, but not as much. But I know we talked about what I remember trick-or-treating as a kid and that night.
I'm sure we're going to touch on half that shit because this is basically a redo of
it's the reboot.
Video. But if anyone's curious, you got to go way back. You got to go 2019 before the show existed to see this man and me sitting in my old kitchen, I think, and just talking shit. So I said, I got to bring you back. And I don't know why it took me this long. There's a couple of people that I had on the early iteration of Haunted Hangover that I haven't had back yet, and I have to bring them back officially for the show. So you're the first of that group of people to come back from the past.
It's an honor.
Now, in case some of my listeners here don't know what TrueHorror.net is, break it down for them. What exactly is TrueHorror.net?
What it is now is kind of like a dead site, but what it was.
Don't say that.
It's basically it was just a way, an outlet to share artwork that I made. I was into photography when I started it a lot. So I did a lot of horror themed photography, and then I kind of graduated from that to making movie posters and stuff like that, designing my own movie posters and more things like that, and got away from the photo shoots, even though some of the posters I used photography to make them from scratch. So, and then I got once I started getting a following with that stuff via Instagram, I kind of I guess I started doing movie reviews, and since I had followers, studios would send me, hey, you want to go watch this movie early and review it? So I would do reviews and stuff and all that kind of thing. But my favorite thing was still creating stuff.
I mean, if any of the listeners are curious, definitely go over to the website. The portfolio's up there.
It is still active, so yes. It is still up.
It is. The site does exist. And look at this. There's a poster that you designed for me. Showing myself. You designed at least 2 or 3 for me, some of my film projects in the past.
My favorite one was the Eve one.
It's one of my favorite ones, too. It's the most creative you've done for me so far.
That one was, when I did it, I remember when I did it because I used to work overnight.
Yeah.
And I would sit there on the computer and do that stuff. And I remember making, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I did this, and that's good. It came out of nowhere.
I remember we went early 2017 for my first feature for Good Day. I wanted a bunch of those were not as exciting, but some character posters for the 6 leading characters, I guess. And then you created one for each character. Yeah, I
remember with the orange framing.
Dude, I still have tons of those in my apartment. Yeah. I don't think I ever gave you any, did I? I got to give you some.
I don't know.
Dude, I got to give you. I have them huge, 11 by 17. Still have several. So from the premiere, and I should maybe give those out or something. If anyone wants any Good Day posters that Jason designed, I just remember early on that was one of the first kind of projects, and you've done some other stuff. Another thing you did for me, and I know I'm talking about myself here, which is I don't know. I guess maybe nothing new. I guess is you designed, and I still to this day use it. I'm actually showing you love, Jason. This is all love to you, good friend of mine. You designed the first drinking ghost for Haunted Hangover.
That's right. That's right.
So
That's
I
right.
still use him. He's down here right now. Currently, there's a little drinking ghost. He's below us. Still use him.
I remember when I did that, I'm like, oh, I like this. I feel like I could do it better, but maybe he'll like it. Like, I liked it. It's cool. It's in with the beer, right?
Yeah. It's one of my I'm actually planning on eventually getting it tattooed just because.
Yeah.
Because I'm a psycho. So,
but everything you got now looks so good, man.
I'm a crazy man. So, I mean, it's not my first like project related tattoo that I have. So, like for me, it's like whatever. It's a Haunted Hangover tattoo. This is a big part of my life, and you helped design it. So, much love to you, Jason.
Thank you. Happy to be able to do something for you like that.
And it's not going to be the last time, I'm sure. So, I anytime anyone recommends like or ask me for recommendations, and I know, you're busy, life happens, things happen. We all have craziness going on. I always mention your name when it comes to designing posters, just because of how long we've known each other and
I appreciate
stuff like that. So I always try to get you involved in some way, And honestly, like I said before, I definitely recommend a lot of the listeners go over to the site and check it out. You a lot of people, I know your House of the Devil, which is not going to be the first time we talk about that film in this episode. Yeah. I know that's one of your more popular designs, the little House of the Devil one you created. I'll definitely be plugging in your artwork in the episode so people can see what we're talking about. Your Child's Play one I know is quite popular as well. And then your Halloween kind of mugshot wanted poster that you did for Michael Myers.
Oh, man, yeah, that one. I sold a lot of them.
Yeah, man. Listen, it's dope shit. It's dope designs. A lot of horror fans will appreciate just kind of all the work and details you put into it. And then I know you do a lot of work with that. It's Popcorn Frights. It's a film festival, right?
I do their. I've done some for the festival, and then they have another smaller festival in October called Wicked Weekend, and I've kind of gravitated towards that because I can they give me like carte blanche to do whatever I want with that, which with the festival, it's a little more picky about what I do.
Yeah, they probably want real specific
the Wicked Weekend,
things,
they're
right?
like, Halloween's your thing.
Yeah.
Go crazy.
Yeah, and what's cool is that I like how you use models and actual physical stuff to create the like image itself,
Yeah, and that stems from like the photography stuff I used to do when I started all this. It just makes sense to me because a lot of times you'll see like there's a lot of poster makers out there and a lot of designs, and the studios have a lot of people doing posters, but I don't have always the assets from the studio, and a lot of people just have to take stuff straight from the movie screen, like screenshots or whatever, and work from there. And I prefer to do something that no one else can do. And if you do something physically, it's like one of one, like nobody else can have that because you did it. So like there's one poster I did for that movie Found Footage 3D.
I remember when that came out.
Yeah. Their poster, official poster, was not really great at all. Like,
damn, some shade.
I'm sorry, it's not a good poster.
It's okay. Be real.
It was like one of those like somebody somewhere involved with the movie, like financiers, put the poster out, right? And then the Popcorn Frights guys were going to screen it, and they wanted a poster that would kind of try to sell it more than what they had, which was like a pair of Photoshop 3D glasses on the floor with a bloody hand next to it or something.
Yeah, yours has like a skull, the film.
It had the skull.
Yeah.
Wearing the 3D glasses, which literally I went to Michael's to look for a skull. It was around October when I had to make it. So luckily I bought a silver, like they had a crazy silver skull for like $20, super detailed. I I put it up on like a stand. I put real 3D glasses on it that I think I pulled from the Freddy Krueger box set,
Oh
DVD
yeah,
box
yeah,
set.
yeah. I remember. Yeah.
I think that's where I got them. I popped those on there. I may maybe not. I might have bought some, but I put them on the actual thing, and I lit a red light bulb, a blue light bulb, and photographed the thing. And then I started working on it from there. And a good friend of mine, from Australia, his name's Matt Durston. He helped me with a lot of posters at the time because he was in Australia, so he was up late. So when I'd be working on this stuff, we'd be bouncing ideas off, and he would go in and do stuff. So I have to give him credit because he definitely helped me. Great guy, crazy good artist. He draws everything. He's super good. So I don't want to take credit away from him because he helped me with a lot of stuff. But yeah, so we put that together to sell the screening, and the director loved it. It was so good, Bloody Disgusting, and all these sites put it on their website. Like, oh, like they're like, this new poster for the movie is awesome, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, holy shit, like, wow. And then like they never used it again. Like
Which is
the
weird.
director's like, that poster's so good, I hope they use it. And whoever put that movie out just didn't care.
The distributors don't give a shit. That's the problem. Yeah. I
Exactly.
mean, like looking at your poster, it has a very retro feel to it, which, that's what a lot of people wanted, especially I think when this came out, which was a few years ago.
Yeah, it was like 2017,
yeah.
2016.
Yeah, so like the nostalgia, like retro look was at an all-time high at that point.
Totally. Like that was, man.
Yeah, that was
the time, right?
That was the time almost 10 years ago where people really wanted that. And all your stuff kind of has that flair to it, which is dope. Like you have that style of like that kind of retro. And then you can get, what's good about your stuff is you can get away from that as well. It's not like
I tried like after a while, like, okay, I've done so much of this. And then I just wanted to like try to refine certain things I was doing to, like you said, get it away from that and just make something. Then I just wanted to do like stuff that was creepier.
Yeah. I mean,
and like there's one I did for that Wicked Weekend thing that I really like. You can maybe put it up here. I don't know. I'll send it to you. It's like a girl with a skeleton face in the graveyard with the shovel and the pumpkin tail.
Yes.
Black and white, like stuff like that I really enjoyed doing. And since I haven't done a lot of stuff recently, like it takes me to be inspired to want to like make something like.
Yeah, so. Man, that's the key, right? The key is inspiration, wanting to do it, Yeah. So I mean, I think you should get back to it personally.
It's like I love doing it, and it's just like you said, just got to be inspired, I guess like.
And what can we do to pull it out of you to get you inspired?
Man,
I don't know.
It's got to be closer to October, probably.
Right. You're trying to say right now, time of this recording, it's February. You're not feeling the spooky vibes at all.
Or you know what? If I see a movie or something that like brings it out of me, then it's like, oh, I want to make something for that movie.
Yeah, man. I always joked around that you should be doing way more independent film stuff. I feel is.
I know. You know what it is?
It's kind of crazy that you're not doing more.
One of the reasons why, like, I would do stuff and people would see it and it got good. I always got good feedback, but like, I never got like hit up for something like, hey,
yeah.
And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna like
chase,
beg anybody or chase like. The people that are cool, like I've had people involved in movies and producers stuff like my stuff. And at some point, it's like, all right, that's cool enough for me at that point. It's like, especially since I wasn't doing it as like for a living.
Yeah.
It was like for fun.
Yeah.
For my outlet. So my soul is not crushed every day by going to work.
No. Listen, man, it's like everything. And the horror community is very incestuous. For being real, it's it's super like, from what I could see, it's very clingy and like there's certain artists that they go to the same 3 people, same 3 or 4 artists.
I agree. And I think one
Which
thing
I'm sure
too,
you're
like,
friends with some of them, honestly. So
no, and you know what?
yeah,
I want to actually give, what's his name credit because he's super chill and always really supportive was Mark, Sadist Art.
yeah.
Always always will give me feedback if I like hit him up. I'm like, hey, I'm working on this. What do you think? Always supportive. Never, because in anything, people can get competitive too.
Yeah.
It could act like jerks,
Yeah.
and I feel like that happened at a certain point. Like I think to a certain year, 2018, 2019, everyone was still cool and it was a lot of like, you know, collaboration and support. And then I think when social media became like everyone's a look turned into a look at me fest
Yeah.
instead of look what I've made, look what I've created. It's just look at me. And then everybody's a personality. Everybody has an opinion, whether it's everyone's opinion is valid, obviously, but like, what are you bringing to it that your opinion is interesting and I should listen to? Like, obviously, I listen to your show. It's always entertaining. You come up with good points, good things, and you're coming from a place where you love this stuff since you're a kid, and that's the difference. Is a lot of people I think are like they're just like they don't love any of the stuff they're talking about. They just want people to watch them.
Yeah, you want to be genuine in
Yeah,
when
and it's like,
when
well,
you
why
like
do I want to
something.
watch somebody if they're full of shit?
Yeah, no, for sure. There's a lot of people full of shit out there, man. But like I said, I think the way I see it, and even with like graphic design.
Sorry to get into that
No,
whole.
it's all good, dude. It rarely ever happens, man. I mean, that's not your. Trust me, you're as far from controversial compared to some people, some of the co-hosts here that I have that I've said. But no, yeah, man, I agree. It's kind of like at a point where as long as you're happy with what you're doing and people that you care are supporting you, and then nothing beats someone that doesn't know you from a hole in the wall telling you, hey, I dig what you're doing. Those are the most important things, that
Yeah,
someone out there appreciates it that you don't know, and the people that are close to you and that you do know, that you're friends with, family, etc., appreciate what you're doing. And like I said, you're doing great work, man. I know you haven't done it in a while, but regardless, you got a pretty solid portfolio that people can check out. And
sometimes when I go and look through it, I'm like, okay, I did some cool shit. Like
yeah, dude. I mean, some of this stuff, if you made up like prints of it and sold them, more. I know you do have a store, you have a couple of items up there, but I know if you printed out more of them, you would sell them. You could get people.
I'll,
People still
although
love prints, man. You
I'll
know?
tell you the problem was I hated shipping stuff.
Oh, dude. Why do you think I barely have any merch for Haunted Hangover?
When I had to roll all those prints, man, I was like, this is off. Like, it's great to get the money in, but it's like, man, like,
Yeah.
no.
It's a lot
But
of work. It becomes a job, dude. Trust me. It's even with this, yeah, we jump on with friends and shoot the shit and jump on with other people, but still got to edit the show, still got to put it together. And then if I were to ever create merch, which I have very minuscule merch, stickers and buttons and stuff, but shirts and things like that haven't happened yet because it is a lot of work. But I am pushing myself to try to finally make stuff like that happen. So I totally get it, man. It is a lot of work to kind of, especially when you're one person. So
yeah,
it's tough, but
and
I
then you
say
get
get
like,
back into it, man. Get back.
then you get like one order,
Yeah.
and it's like I have to go to the post office for one order to and ship it and stuff. Like, it's cool. I appreciate anybody and
Yeah.
everybody that ever bought anything, and liked it and have posted it when they bought it. It was cool. But I also think for me, like, it's hard. And what do you, I know this, we're a little off topic, but like, I feel like I did a lot of the stuff I set out to do
hmm
initially in all these years, like early years, like when we were all doing all this stuff to start. And then I feel like so many people started doing stuff either I already did. And I don't mean that in like a negative way towards that. It's
Yeah.
just like, okay, I've like, what is there? What's the next inspiring thing that's
Yeah.
gonna make me want to do stuff? Because everyone's doing this or that, and everyone came to do posters, or everyone came to and like, that's why I said it's cool when there's people that are supportive of what you do. Like you were always supportive of me and Mark Sadis Arts and the Popcorn Frights guys and everything. But but then you see stuff and everyone is liking stuff and you're like, I don't think that looks really good. Why are people?
Yeah, I mean, dude, like from my own experience, and listen, I don't, these conversations don't come up on the show that often, but my own experience as like, independent film goes, because that's a big part of me. Still
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this
for
day,
sure.
I'm still working on stuff, and then this kind of Haunted Hangover as like a podcast, a brand. The way I see it, and I guess inspiration, like you're saying, inspiring me to want to do something is, I don't really have inspiration. I just do what I want to do. Like
Yeah,
and that's what I always would tell like someone like you or any other friends of the show that are doing something like this or something similar, trying to make a movie or trying to create art or trying to make music. I've got friends and you do too. I know for a fact that are in all these different mediums, like they're doing different stuff. So for me, it's kind of like do what's good for you. Like do what you think is your best work and what you feel is like not your I guess your calling I guess is the word you could use, but or the phrase you could use. You can do what you do and then compare yourself to other people, but that's not going to make you feel any better. So in
yeah,
my
yeah.
mind, it's like do what you can, do what you think is right, and do what you enjoy. I'm not, there's a lot of Halloween podcasts out there and horror podcasts. I don't listen to half of them if I'm being honest. I
Yeah,
can't compare myself to anyone else because I mean, I'm sure there's people that have compared us. Same thing with your art. I'm sure with your poster and your graphic design work and your portfolio, people look, oh, this looks like this person and that person. Obviously, we have inspirations. But for the most part, I just say do what you think is right and what works for you. And kind of like, especially in the world of film, dude, it's all been done. It's adding your own flair to it. Same thing with the show, same thing with graphic design. Add your own flair to it, add your own personality to it, and make it work. Nothing's original these days. We're past that.
yeah.
It's 2025, man.
It's
Even the
tough. It's
biggest
crazy,
directors
right?
are ripping people off. Even the biggest graphic designers, the biggest podcasters are ripping off people,
Oh
So
yeah.
you gotta just, stay in your lane, I guess, and do what feels right. That's what I'm doing. That's what you should do. And that's what everyone that's creative should do. So there's Louie's words of wisdom, I guess. I don't know if I've ever done this on the show before, but it's a
Yeah.
good conversation to have. I
Maybe
thank
you
you,
should have Louis'
Jason.
words of wisdom every other episode or something,
Thank you, Jason. Do listen. It's true, man. It's like I always say. Like even with you, like even now, I'm scrolling on your site. I'm looking at your stuff, and I've seen all this stuff before, and it's very good. I love the stuff you've done, and you should be doing more. So I know you know this, Jason. We're a Halloween and horror podcast. So I have to ask you, why do you love Halloween and share one of your favorite Halloween memories?
So my love for Halloween comes from my directly from my family. When I was a kid, everyone just that they decorated the house. Halloween. My dad went nuts on Halloween, decorated the whole apartment. My family would have a big Halloween party where all like my brother and sister's friends would come and my parents' friends would come. And they would do like it was crazy because like I remember it as a little kid, but I remember like they would do like plays in the living room for everyone at the party at one point. Then they just would have music and everything like normal, but they would do like plays like Dracula. They have a fake coffin. Somebody would hammer a stake through somebody's heart, not for real, but fake blood and all kinds of stuff like that. And so like I was always around it as a kid. It was just in my family. They loved it. So I grew into it. Pumpkin patches, Halloween books, and it's just something we like. The house is decorated for the whole month of October. Black crepe paper, right? Hanging from the
Yeah, yeah.
ceiling. Black and orange. Remember the balls that would pop open?
Yeah, yeah. I have a bunch of those in storage.
Yeah. All that kind of stuff. What's the company? Beistel?
Beistel, yeah.
Beistel stuff, like
Whichever way
all
you
that kind of
pronounce
stuff.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I grew up in that environment and it just left the impression on me that Halloween was an important holiday. So stuff like that. I still remember going. It's weird because like I, we're where where we grew up in Queens. Like
Yeah, yeah.
trick or treating was like we'd go from apartment building to apartment building.
Yeah, you know what's
and trick
funny?
or
I'm
treat.
glad you mentioned that because we both grew up in similar, so we grew up from similar
Yeah.
area, similar environment, and it's true. A lot of the times, when you watch movies and you watch, shows, TVs from back in the day, it's always it's like a suburban neighborhood, which is magical. It is magical for people like us, and I think I've mentioned it on the show before. It's different. And, not a lot of films ever catered to people that grew up like we did, where it was more apartment buildings and
No. And it was cool
streets
though.
and
Like it
yeah,
was still fun. Like it was still,
yeah.
you way more. You could hit way more places faster than going
One
house to house.
building was like 100 apartments. So
Exactly.
yeah,
And yeah, I think speaking of like inspiration and what's like I have in my head, like maybe do like a because I draw too
yeah,
sometimes. For those that don't know, I draw. But like um I at one point I want to write like I have a story in my head. I'm not gonna put all there, but it's like a kid's book or something, right? Draw a kid's book, and it's about that kind of Halloween in the
wow,
neighborhood with Bill. Instead of like, oh, how which I love, because every Halloween I go up to Westchester out there in New York, so I could be in that kind of trick or treat environment. But yeah, I want to tell like a story about that, and I have it in my head, and I'll tell you later. I don't want to put it out there. One random person, studio executive, and I'm screwed. But here's your podcast, but yeah,
goes back to what we said. Someone will take the idea and try.
exactly. But I
So,
have it, and it's pretty fun, and I just want to like pay homage to the kind of Halloween that we grew up with.
yeah, man, I myself haven't really injected that into too much of my stuff. I should probably, and a little bit actually. I shouldn't say that. I have a whole movie where people live in apartment buildings and it's Halloween.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, it's different. You don't really get to see that too much in film or TV, especially in the past. Especially like us growing up, you'd watch stuff like Roseanne. It was all houses, and you're like, I live in an apartment building. There's no house here. But then you walk
What's
down a
like,
couple blocks, there'll be a house around
hey,
buildings.
Santa Claus had to come through the fire escape. That
So
was the kid. So
he had to
chimney.
be a home invader when you were a kid.
Yeah,
He had
exactly.
to slide. He had to slide up the window and
Putting it up.
slowly. When you really think about the shit you believed as a child, like he really had to. He had to sneak into my apartment through the fire escape.
Yeah, and I believe because everyone told me he did, so I'm like, all right,
He
I guess he's coming in.
he parked the reindeer on the roof of the building, climbed
Yeah,
down.
it's the only way it would have worked.
Oh man, so good, so good. Is there a specific Halloween memory that comes to mind briefly? Mention it, like a real brief Halloween memory that sticks out to you.
You know what? I will say a different one, and I think you'll appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause obviously I live in Miami now, even though
Yeah.
I'm back and forth a lot. I'm always up there, but it's more a recent memory, not super recent, but like there was a time where I like wasn't as much into Halloween. I kind of just like fell out of it for a while. And okay, yeah, it's October. I'd maybe watch one scary movie, and that would be it. Like this was like 2007 ish, I'd say, like around that era. Like we'd have a Halloween party here and there, but if it didn't feel like Halloween, I didn't do much to make it feel
Mm.
like Halloween on my end. It was just like another month at that point. I wasn't always like that, but like there was a certain time where whatever, I wasn't so super into it. And since some of my friends weren't as into it as I used to be, I was like, all right, whatever. It's what it is. That changed for good after I watched, I can't remember if I bought it or I rented it from Netflix on the disc.
Damn.
I feel like I bought it.
Yeah.
I feel like I bought it because it came out. I probably bought it.
Yeah.
Um, Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Trick or Treat. I watched it on like October 30th or whatever day it was, right? Like around whenever I got it, close to Halloween. And that changed it like re-sparked my love for Halloween.
Yeah, that pumpkin grew in your heart, man. After
I watched it and I literally after watching it, I played it again and I started decorating my apartment.
Wow. I
Like,
mean, dude, yeah. I mean, that movie, I remember buying it. I might have said this on the show, but I remember buying it at Best Buy for like $30 when it came
yeah,
out.
I think that's what I
Yeah.
did. I think that's
Yeah.
what happened. Like, and I had to go to like more than one Best Buy to find it.
Yeah. It was hard to find. And I think I did the same thing. I watched it about 3 times in like a week because it was so good. So I could see that. You know what? That's a good kind of, that's a good movie to inspire you to kind of fall back in love with Halloween if you really think about it.
Absolutely, man.
Honestly, there's not too many films have come out that, and we haven't even covered that film on the show. I do intend on doing a full episode in the future.
Yeah.
But there's not another movie, maybe one or two, but there's not another movie I think that oozes that much Halloween since that movie. Like that's the last Halloween, not Michael Myers, Halloween as in the holiday.
It's the best movie about the holiday.
About holiday, yeah.
Of Halloween.
I mean, there's one or two that came out after that. Like I know you're a big fan of The Guest, the movie we have covered on the show. That's a big
Love
Halloween.
The Guest.
But Halloween is just the backdrop. It's not really like about the holiday, but it's still very Halloweeny. So there's still
for sure. I mean, we all love that too.
Yeah. So I agree. That movie, that is the movie that if you fell out of love with Halloween and you put it on, it's like you realize why you did love the holiday at one point, you know?
And it captures every age of Halloween, like through that age group's eyes.
Yeah.
Little kids, the little small kid just wants to trick or treat. The teenagers that want to go and just cause trouble.
Yeah.
And then the adults who are older don't care about Halloween. The young adults that just want to party. So it's great. Like it covers the whole spectrum.
It's honestly, if I had to pick like the quintessential Halloween themed movie, as much as I know people love Hocus Pocus and love other films, that probably is the. I mean, it is. I don't have to really think about it. Write down a list.
Yeah,
that is the Halloween. Again, the Halloween movie. Halloween.
Sure.
Like the holiday. Like there's other things, but yeah, the main little guy Sam is a pumpkin monster.
Yeah.
Like
where else? Where are you gonna get something better than that? Like
he's the spirit of Halloween. All right. The main topic now. Finally, we're finally hitting it. Jason.
Oh, actually,
yes.
There's something I've been wanting to say since October. Okay. And I've been like, if I ever get on this guy's show, I'm gonna bring it up because it really bugged me that people were doing this, and I had to stick up for something that people all over the place. I think we talked about it a little, but people all over the place were talking mad shit about it. I want justice for the Beetlejuice Haunted Apple Soda because I opened it, I tasted it, I go, it tastes like Halloween.
Yeah.
It tastes like Halloween. I loved it. I don't know that I necessarily want to drink a whole case or anything.
No, that wouldn't be good for you. No.
But I thought it was like, this tastes like a Halloween soda for sure. Yeah. And everybody that I let try it, I brought like the case to work, and people were like, oh my God, this is terrible. Everybody I let try it, nobody liked it except me. And I'm like, maybe you guys just don't know Halloween.
They're bugging. They're not. There's no way. That was phenomenal. I'm kind of. I have a single can. I haven't opened because I want to keep it because it has Michael Keaton's face on it.
Yeah, so I have one in the fridge.
Yeah, it's the striped can.
Yep.
But yeah, dude, I got one bottle of it, crushed it. It was phenomenal. We did the full episode. I know that's the one you're referring to. Yeah, and Grimy and I, he loved it too. We both really enjoyed it, and I agree. It's like we even said it, if I remember correctly. It was like because it wasn't Halloween season yet. It was like August around that time.
Yeah, it was like before the movie came.
Yeah. And we were like, this is like the Halloween season is starting early, like with that soda and kind of all the tie-ins to the movie. That was honestly one of the best things to happen with that sequel to Beetlejuice. So
yeah, and it's that crazy green color. Like, come on.
Yeah, dude. Compared to like the only other thing I could think of, I know people go crazy, and we've talked about it. It's come up on the show. Is Pitch Black. I know people like Pitch Black, and people like Voodoo, Mountain Dew Voodoo.
Voodoo's fun. Yeah, I remember you. Did you ever settle on what you believed it to be?
I mean, I'm always wrong, dude. I'm never right. I never get it right.
I think this year was like Skittles or Airheads.
I forget. I know last year, it was like one year was Airheads, and they said it was actually branded Airheads, and then one
Yeah.
year was,
With
I think,
red vines,
Sour
Sour Patch
Patch
Kids.
Kids. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get them. They all start to taste like, honestly, dude. Like we've done it like 2 or 3 years in a row, Grammy and I, in an episode, and I always think it's the same thing. Like it's the same flavor. I'm like, oh, I'm probably wrong. And then I have to remind myself, like, oh, they already did this flavor.
Yeah.
This year was like pink candy or something. I think like a pink
Yeah. Oh, it
starburst,
was like Pink Starburst.
but not with the branding. It
No,
was
yeah,
just
just
pink
generic
candy.
Pink Star.
So yeah, the main topic that I wanted to talk to you about, finally we're reaching it here, is I want to talk, since you design posters and have designed many posters, I wanted to talk about some of our favorite horror movie posters. Now, obviously, this is a visual medium, so we're going to try to do our best to describe each poster if you're just listening to this episode of the show. But if you're watching the episode, you will see each one of them. So this is definitely a pro watch episode, but we'll do our best to kind of work with you listening only people in describing what we're talking about. If you're not familiar, I think for the most part, a couple of these picks are relatively popular. So more than likely, you guys are horror fans that are listening. You know what we're talking about. But Jason, you're the guest. Hit me with your first pick.
What's the matter, Anna? I thought we'd become friends, you and I. You sound like a stranger.
I'm gonna go with the most recent one, the one we had trouble finding an example of.
Yes, that's a little backstory. With this pick that Jason had, I could not find an image of it on Google. So he's gonna send me an image of it of his Blu-ray so I can put it in the episode. But yes, continue.
I'm glad that I had the Blu-ray, otherwise you wouldn't believe me that it exists.
Yeah.
So, all right, my pick, and I'll explain why each one of these I like that we go as we go through them. I picked. There's a specific poster for Maniac, the 2012 version with Elijah Wood. The movie has a lot of posters, but the one I loved, and this was like I was trying to think. I know there's a poster that I'm not remembering that's like inspired me a lot when I was making posters. So it's the poster for the movie that is a mannequin in it's a black background. It has like the wedding veil on it. It's the nude mannequin with blood dripping down it, and that's it. And it's the simplicity of it that I love, because I in the 80s it was okay if you had a busy ass poster or something, that's fine. But like, I'm not going to name names. There's a lot of companies and stuff that do shirts and things, and there's a billion scenes.
Came up on the show recently, and I think in a Patreon episode we mentioned it. Yeah, so
there's a billion scenes from the movie in one poster, one T-shirt. It's like, I don't need all of that on there. And my I guess I don't know what the word I'm looking for is right now, but my philosophy, I guess, for making a poster is the simpler, the better.
Like more minimalist is kind of what you're going for, yeah.
And that it just needs to capture the spirit of the movie. And I feel like that tells the whole story in one image. You have I could hold it. Can I hold it up?
Yeah, you can hold it up, yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll see if. So I'm trying to get. All right, there we go. So it's a mannequin. It's simple, it's creepy, and it's really creative and stylish. And it's striking, like it'll catch your eye. So that's my pick for that one, because that one probably informed my sensibilities for creating posters a lot. More than I probably give it credit for sometimes.
Yeah, it's that movie. You're right. There's a lot of posters. That is one of the better ones, and it's impossible to find. So that's the funny thing about that one. But even the original poster art, where it's like Elijah Wood's eyes in the rear view mirror. Yeah, that's kind of not a great poster either. Like, I'm surprised they didn't stick more with the mannequin, because the mannequin's so important to the movie. Like the mannequins are so important, even to the original film though. Is it Bill Lustig, I think, directed it? That one, mannequins are so prominent and like a part of like the story and kind of with the maniac in the movie. So I do like how that one, if you just look at it, it's a good kind of description and an enticing poster for that movie. Like, it's a good way of describing what the film's about in kind of a minimalist nature. It's so prominent. And dude, even doing a quick Google search for the 2012 Maniac, I'm looking right now, there are so many goddamn posters. There's one with him sitting with a bunch of mannequins. There's one with him with a knife across his face. There's one with his face is inside of a cleaver. There's so many. It's kind of crazy.
I think the one with him like this, like over the back of the mannequin with all the parts hanging around, I think that's the next best one they had, where it's like pinkish and bluish.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, they had so many. And like we talked about, the flip side of that Blu-ray cover is like garbage.
Yeah, off air, we talked about how that Blu-ray that Jason showed off, that the cover were his first pick, the reverse side, the actual like one when you buy it, the cover, the main cover, I guess cover A, is kind of shitty. And
it's just a Photoshop mess. Like,
it's like bad. Yeah, I don't know why it's like him with the knife in the mirror and the mirror shattering. The woman's off to like the right or left of the page. It's a weird design. They should have just went with that one. It looks more like the Criterion. Like that's what a Criterion cover would be. The mannequin by itself, your pick.
Yeah,
so that's like that's the classy. It's
so good.
Pick.
The lighting, everything.
Yeah,
like,
it is sick. It is sick. And honestly, dude, it's a great movie. I know there's some people that don't like it because they compare it to the original, but you can't. They're very different movies.
Listen, I'm going to say something controversial.
Ooh, say it.
On the Haunted Hangover, okay?
Yes.
I love the first one. I take nothing away from it. The new one's better.
Damn.
It's better.
That's a bold statement there from Jason.
It is. And it's not taking anything away from the but like if I watch him back to listen, what's his name is great, Joe Spinell.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's great as Frank Zito, but I don't know. This one puts you in the mind of this killer.
The performance is like Joe Chappelle. You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking.
It's Joe Spinell. Joe Spinell and Elijah Wood's performances are so different. So like you can't even compare them. It's completely different. It's two completely different characters. So we do this thing on the show where we do Manny and I do these like original versus remake, and sometimes there's three of them. We've done it twice so far, and Maniac is ripe for one of those episodes in the future. Because they're so the only thing they have in common are the mannequins and people dying and him being a serial killer. Outside of that, there aren't many. So different. The way it's shot, the POV stuff, it's very different from the original, like gritty, very like New York taxi driver-esque feel that the 1980 film had.
And that's the stuff I love about the original, is how like old school grimy it is, you know?
Being from New York, you gotta love it.
It's a good double feature with like Basket Case.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Like just that sleazebag Times Square era, like
100%. It's a perfect kind of double feature with that. I'd say honestly, Basket Case, Maniac, and then Maniac Cop.
Also good, yeah.
All like shitty New York horror movies.
Isn't it funny that Lustig directed Maniac Cop and Maniac?
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. I mean, if you think about it, he just likes movies with the title Maniac in them. Yeah. So, I mean. Listen, Maniac, 1980, phenomenal. Maniac.
I do love it. I own it. I love it. It's no shade to that one. Yeah. But if I was like, okay, which one are you going with? Yeah. Say I found like more affecting, it would be the new one.
Yeah, I get it. I respect it. I love both of them. So,
but that's not me. Like there could be some other remakes where I'll say the old one is shit.
Damn.
Or the new one is shit.
Yeah.
But this is, I like them both. I just prefer the new one.
Death of Father Thomas gave birth to some evil.
All right. So my first pick. Now I'm taking it to Italy. Italian horror. We're going with the Lucio Fulci, one of the, I guess, Gore hounds love him. They love his movies. His movies rarely make any sense, but there's tons of gore in them. And and they're usually relatively entertaining, overdubbed. I love Fulci. I mean this is all love. I'm not making fun of the movies, but I do genuinely, I love his films, but they are kind of all over the place. They don't make sense sometimes. And the movie I'm about to talk about, the poster for the film I'm about to talk about, is kind of scatterbrained and all over the place as well. And again, no knock on Fulci. I love Fulci. It's my dude. I love The Beyond, House by the Cemetery, this movie. What else? You got Don't Torture a Duckling, New York Ripper, another New York film. I love all his shit. But the poster I'm talking about is for the 1980 film The Gates of Hell. Now,
that's a good pick.
It's a phenomenal poster. One of my personal favorites. My 1 sentence and a half description, if you're not familiar with The Gates of Hell, it's about a priest who offs himself, and this triggers the gates of hell to open, and a bunch of zombies and psychopaths emerge, and these two people have to find a way to close the gates of hell. So to prevent this craziness from happening. Now, I think the movie's the most infamous thing it's known for is the vomiting guts scene where the girl is vomiting up all her insides. It goes on for like 5 minutes and the guy just watches on in horror. I think there's probably people that know that scene better than they do the movie because it's so, I was going to use the word iconic, but I think it is iconic in the world of horror if you're a horror fan. Now the poster. And I love how we go from like talking about New York and the grittiness and all that of New York, because this poster has a city skyline of New York in it. And over that, you got kind of this foggy smoke haze over the city. And then above that, a rotting zombie head with the title underneath, The Gates of Hell. And then above that, it reads, "The dead shall rise and walk the earth." And I just think it's a great old school Italian horror film. When you look at this thing, and that's kind of the point of a horror film poster, I think we can all agree that they want to sell the movie to you by this poster art, because this is before, before the internet and before kind of social media, way before social media, not even kind of, way before social media. So, now you can market, you just slap some shit together and sell your stuff that way. But this was like a great one sheet that I feel represents the film for the most part, even though I don't remember off the top of my head if there's even a one-eyed zombie in the movie. Like, because this zombie's got one eye missing and the other one's kind of rolling back, and he's got this kind of big welt on the top of his head and his decayed ears. And I don't think he makes an appearance. It's not like the Zombie poster, which I didn't mention, another Fulci film, Zombie, where you have a picture of a very famous poster as well. Picture of the zombie, one of the main zombies, in the film. I don't know if this dude's in the movie. Off the top of my head, I could not confirm.
I do not remember, but it's possible. But I don't think so.
Yeah, and the poster reads 1983, so this is an Italian film, so I don't know if it came out in 1980 in Italy and then came out here in 83, so forgive my fact-checking there. So that happened with those Italian movies. A lot of the times they'd get released there first and then come here afterwards. What do you think of this poster, Jason? The Gates of Hell poster.
I have two opinions of it.
Okay.
I think it's great. It's a classic poster.
Okay.
I don't have anything really negative. I love the thing that I like the most is the color scheme, like the green with the blue, like the yellow, like all that. I love that because it's eye catching.
Yeah. And then the red
I like the
Gates of
artwork.
Hell.
Like the artwork's good. Like I like the drawing. I'm looking at it now. I like the painting of the zombie and everything. That like somebody put effort into that.
Yeah, and it sells it with the title alone. Like The Gates of Hell is like hell is the biggest word in the poster. So
the one thing I'll say is funny as a poster design just by looking at it, and they did this a lot back then, so I'm not even knocking it. It's just like half of it's cut off with the black bottom, like more than usual. to fit all the credits in there so you could read them.
That was the most important thing. They wanted to get the director and actors' names and producers in there somehow.
And it works because you have the city, like maybe it's like the water, right? Like it's the way. I mean, maybe not, but it's just it's funny how like so many movies back then just slapped like a black line or box so they could fit the credits. And I'm wondering how annoying that was for the people that did the artwork.
I'm sure they hated it.
Where it's like, there's probably more to this maybe at the bottom that they just covered up, and they're like, too bad.
I'm sure there's like an ocean or something down there, and they just were like, we don't need that much ocean. Let's just crop it. That's it. Imagine there's like a bunch of zombies down there, and they just crop that out, and it's like, what a waste.
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, though, it's a great poster. It's, I would have been happy to make that poster myself. Sometimes that's how I judge posters. Like, oh man, I wish I made it.
Yeah. Or
I'm glad I didn't make it. But yeah, this one, that's a classic, and that's a good pick. And you know what? If I'm not, I could be misremembering, but when I used to do real quick the photography stuff.
Yeah.
I used to do photos for the subscription pages in Horror Hound magazine. Like I would take they'd give me like, hey, the issue's about this. Can you do something for it? Or so it would match the cover. A lot of times they didn't, and I would just do stuff. But I feel like the first one I did had this on the cover.
The zombie head?
It might be, or it might be like a take on it. Like, not that the photo I did, but the cover was like, it was definitely about, oh, wait, no. Maybe I'm thinking of City of the Living Dead.
I think they're the same movie with different titles.
Okay, then okay.
Gates of Hell and City of the Living Dead are the same movie, but
it has to be, right?
Yeah, this goes back to like them changing the titles of the movies. So I'm pretty sure the Gates of Hell and the City of the Living Dead are the same movie.
I'm definitely not the Italian horror expert.
I mean, I'm pretty sure like it's the same movie. I can tell you right now. City of the Living Dead, yes. It's the same movie. City of the Living Dead, Gates of Hell. I call it Gates of Hell because that's a sick name.
It is. That's a better name.
Compared to City of the Living Dead. So Gates of Hell, City of the Living Dead, same film. And it does have another poster with like tombstones and then heads popping out of it too. But I think this Gates of Hell poster is just way more intimidating and a better poster altogether.
Actually, I found it. Oh, God. Okay, that's not going to work.
I'll plug it in here so people can see it.
Yeah, but I found the issue.
All right, cool.
And it says City of the Living Dead on the cover, but it's the poster.
Yeah. It's the same movie. They just changed the title. Hence why I've got two dates, 1980, 1983, because I'm sure they probably re-released it with a different title just to kind of throw people off and make more money on the film. What's your next pick, Jason?
Where the hell did you come from? Did you just hide?
Are you not the babysitter?
No, I'm not the babysitter. My friend.
My next pick is going to be The House of the Devil.
Where anytime I see this movie, I think of you. I just want to let you know.
That seems to be the case with a lot of people.
Yes.
So the poster that I like, because that movie has a couple posters too. Ones I didn't make and ones that other people made. But it's this one, the classic Burning House. I think this is one of the best posters of any horror movie.
That was 07 or 08 or 09?
09.
09. Okay, I was trying to remember what year that came out.
09. Yeah, I have the VHS.
I have that VHS too. It's back there somewhere.
Have it?
Yeah.
I remember it was a weird order. I ordered it and thinking this is never going to show up. There's some Gorgon video website.
Yeah.
That I got it from. Like, this is.
I think I got mine. It was like the movie and the DVD together or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
Blu-ray or something like that. Yeah.
I should have done that.
I don't remember. This was a long time ago.
But I'll tell you what. I first of all, it's just the painting. It's a painting. So it's awesome. And the colors, everything, the fire, like, okay. Spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen this movie yet. If not, too bad. The house doesn't catch fire in the movie, right? But in the poster, the house is on fire, and that's just a good, like, visual representation of what the movie's about, kind of. And it's just, even if there's no movie called House of the Devil and you take off the title from the poster, you just remove the text, it's still just a great image.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's, I think, important for movie posters too. Like if you take off the words and there's no such movie, is it still interesting to look at? And I feel like this one, like that would be framed in, so I have it. The frame broke, the glass broke, so I don't have it up currently. But I have it, and it's definitely one of my favorites. I think it's super classy. I've heard I love the movie. Obviously, a lot of people do. I've heard some people say the posters even better than the movie.
Still say it's his best movie.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But yeah, I love that poster, and I think most people do that see it. It's a classic poster, and that doesn't always happen. I know my other pick was a modern movie, 2012, but I feel like classic posters for movies are rare.
Yeah, they don't do them. They look like really like poor, like just like even you said about the original Maniac poster. It's like poor Photoshop. Like it just doesn't look good. I always love the art for this movie too. I do like her in the center. I think she's wearing like the gown that they put her in.
That's all bloody.
Yeah. So it's like it's almost like they took a still from the movie. Even though I don't know if there's a still, but maybe they saw like a behind the scenes shot or something, a reference photo, and used that to kind of pinpoint where she'd be on the poster. And like you said, the house on fire, because she should be avoiding that house at all costs, and she still goes into it. So that's a good one, man. And honestly, one of the best films to come out like before 2010, for being honest.
I think so. I mean, like, that's a movie that
and Trick or Treat.
Huh?
That and Trick or Treat.
Yeah, I mean, that's only 2 years after Trick or Treat, right? Trick or Treat's 2007, 2008.
I think it's 2008. If I remember,
is it? Okay.
2007, 2008. I think you're right. You're right. One of those 2 years.
Or maybe it was theatrically released at one time.
I mean, it was sitting on the shelves for a while there. I remember it got delayed by a couple of years or something.
How stupid do they feel?
I mean, there's been rumors of a sequel for years, and it hasn't happened yet either. So
since 2000, I remember specifically, it was since 2012 they announced it.
Yeah, but House of the Devil, man, it's a great poster, great movie. I haven't rewatched House of the Devil in a while. I gotta sit down and it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've watched House of the Devil. Everyone goes crazy with Pearl and X and Maxine now, so that's getting all when it comes to his filmography. I feel like all the focus is shifted to those movies. Those movies have been a big deal to like mass audiences, and I don't think those movies have great posters. They have some.
I mean, I'm trying to
one
think.
Or two.
Pearl had a good one.
Yeah, Pearl had a decent one with the axe. There's like her holding the axe, I think was one of them or something like that.
Yeah, and then there's like the one of her. Like there's a couple good Pearl ones. X didn't really have any good ones.
No. Maxine had like a decent one with her, like I think with like blood on her dress turning around or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, House of the Devil will still be Ty West's best film. So
yeah,
it's always, I think it will always be his best. I'm sure there's people that think Pearl and these new movies are better, but I still say House of the Devil is probably one of the best ones.
It's it's a vibe, man.
Definitely is. He recreated the 80s. I probably better than like Stranger Things and a lot of these other shows and movies have tried to do. So
for sure, because he didn't make it look like cosplay.
No, he didn't.
Like, when people do 80s parties and they're all in neon and all kinds of stuff. This just, the 80s, man, everyone was just, the clothes were just like brown, yellow, like blue. Like it was just like chill, like toned down everything.
Everyone was just wearing clothes. They weren't trying to look like they were going to like the club every day.
It wasn't, I think a lot of people confuse the 80s with like Saved by the Bell.
Which is like 90, right? Like 89
it's like early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah. So
like when everything started to become like purple, teal, and yellow, and So.
Oh man.
But what do you got for your second one?
Stop the prime time, bitch.
So my second pick here, very popular film. Very popular franchise. Probably the most popular film in said franchise. And that's A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream Warriors poster, the 1987 film, Dream Warriors. Listen, this is my favorite, and I'm not alone. This is my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger movie. He's right there. I even got him. He's over my shoulder. As you can see, he's looming in the back. He's going to get me later. This was my favorite one because of the kind of comic booky element of it. You know, Wes Craven came back to co-write the script. Heather Langenkamp, she came back, finally after, skipping out on the second film. I love it. I've seen it way too many times. I know it like the back of my hand, which is pretty pathetic of me. But the poster itself is and I'm going to say this. So the artist of this poster, I did jot it down. It's Matthew Peak, and he designed, I'd say, all the posters or most of the sequel posters until Freddy's Dead, the sixth one, I think. He designed a poster for all the movies. Not the first one, I'm pretty sure. Maybe he did. But I know a lot of the sequels were him. And this poster, you got this kind of full moon, blue sky with clouds. You've got Freddy's house, which is Nancy's house technically, at the bottom. And then you've got all these trees in the distance and a road. And then in the sky, you got Freddy's face, and half of his face is like dreamlike and kind of faded. And then the other half is traditional burned Freddy. Then you got his claw, and then you've got 4 characters sitting on it, sitting on each claw. But the 4 characters don't really make appearances in they're based on characters that make appearances, I guess. Is the only way to say it. You've got a red shirt man holding a bat. You've got a white shirt guy holding a what is that called? A mace. A mace. Which does not make an appearance in the film at all. Neither does a bat. Then you've got like a new wave punk girl off to the right, if you're looking at it, holding a switchblade, 2 switchblades. Now, that is a reference to a character from the film, but she doesn't look like that. And then in the center, you've got like an attractive blonde wearing a white gown. Only the back of her, so I think the back of her is attractive. But no one in the movie looks like this, so what this tells me is they gave my man the script and were like, you need to create a poster based on these characters, and this is his interpretation of what these characters looked like, even though there was not a mace in the movie at all. Maybe there was originally and they got rid of that character or that superpower. But yes, insinuating that these are the Dream Warriors and these are a group of people that are not scared of Freddy. They have powers and will confront him, which is what happens in the movie. So it's Dream Warriors. It represents that really well. I love this poster. It was the background on my phone for a while there for a few years.
It's great.
It's so good. I was bouncing between this one and Dream Master because I love that one too, but I'll save that one for the future. Won't talk about that one now because I'm sure we'll do this again one day. But I love this poster. I love this movie, even though it doesn't really it's not accurate to any of the characters in the film except for Freddy Krueger. It's fantastic. What do you think of this poster?
I think it's great. I think honestly, all the posters for this franchise are good. Like up to New Nightmare.
Yeah, they're all sick.
New Nightmare's fine.
Yeah.
But the art, they're just really well done. This one it still captures the spirit and the story of the movie, even if it's not like the exact characters. Like there's no kid in a wheelchair on the blade.
They're missing the Wizard Master. He should be up there.
That's a little. Maybe that's problematic now. They're like, you can't put this wheelchair kid on the blade.
Yeah. But I do like how the top says, if you think you'll get out alive, you must be dreaming. So there you go. This one is
is good. That's funny because the one that I found, because I wanted to look at it, obviously,
Yeah.
it says, if you think you're ready for Freddy, think again. Yours is better.
If you
That
think
one's
you'll
better.
get out
Your dreaming is
alive,
better.
you must
But
be dreaming.
it's great. The colors really like stand out.
Oh,
Like
it's so good.
it's bold and it's original art, which I love. Like, I have a quick anecdote about the artist that did the first poster. I don't know if he's the one that did the second. So on my website, once you've probably seen it, I recreated the first poster for this girl I know, great girl. She's a huge Freddie fan. Her name's Deandra. She's on Instagram, like even though her sassy sledgehammer, she's like the #1 Freddie fan I ever met. So I'm like, hey, would you like to, for fun, recreate the poster with her as Nancy? Right? I did it. We figured it out. I photographed her like in the pose with her hair, everything, laid down, worked it into the original poster, did everything. It came out great. It was just for fun. Like for her to have herself on the poster. I get a message on my website from the original poster designer.
Wow.
It was maybe a comment that got left in like moderation because I never even looked at that stuff because I barely got any like comments on the way the website was set up. It's like, what is this? Why this isn't your own creation. This is you're ripping off my art and all this stuff. And I'm like, it says homage.
Yeah.
To the original, like in the caption, it was like the homage to original Nightmare poster. Nobody in their right mind would think that I came in there and said, like, I made this myself. Like, I created this. Like, it's clearly an homage. I don't know if this guy was having a bad day. But it's like, dude, if this is what you're doing and you're mad because some girl that loves this poster so much and everyone loves that first poster, that you're going to come in here and just be mad because somebody like wanted to recreate it. At least you didn't get a
cease and desist,
I wasn't
man.
selling it, nothing. You know what I mean? Like, So I have a weird relationship with that poster.
At least you weren't selling it, so you couldn't really do anything. So
yeah, like I wouldn't sell that. You know, so it's just so crazy. Like.
I agree, though. All the Nightmare on Elm Street posters are pretty sick, though. So, I mean, I'm sure there's people that have created homages to this poster, to the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors poster. So, like, that's so weird. Literally every single poster in this franchise, up until the later films, like the way later, like I guess the remake, technically, are fantastic. So, yeah, that's weird that he would even, like, they're iconic. Like when you went to the video store, these are the images you saw. Oh, that's what it reminds me of. So like he's so petty to come after you 100 years later to make a comment.
It was so weird. Like it's like he didn't even email me. He just left a comment.
Damn.
So I'm like, all right, man. Listen, I respect you. You made a great poster. I'm not gonna like get into it, but I just said, hey, man, I sent a little comment back like, it's just an homage, man. Nothing serious. Not that
trying to steal your artwork there, buddy.
Yeah. I have where we were talking about it, the Freddy Krueger DVD box set.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that one?
I still have my copy. Yeah. The blank.
When you pull out the DVD, they're blank. The artwork's blank. It's so nice to see them without any text.
Yeah.
You really can just appreciate how well they're done.
They put each one right on each movie. Yeah, it's sick how they did that.
It's black with it on the middle.
Yeah, it's cool because I have it too. I'll never get rid of that stupid box set.
Too good.
With Freddy's, like the back of Freddy.
Yeah. All the movies with the spines.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah. I love that box set. I will never get rid of it. I think I even have Blu-rays and I still keep that box set. You can find these original covers, like this one specifically, Part 3, Dream Warriors. You could find it like online, like high res, no text on it. So it is. It's such a popular poster that if you want it as like your background on your phone, no text, easy to find. But what's your next and final pick, Jason?
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
All right, so it's going to be Child's Play 1. And it's going to be a specific poster because the theatrical poster originally was the building, the apartment building.
I like that poster. I do like
that one too, where the aunts falling out the window, and you see Chucky's eyes in the sky.
It's pretty sick,
What?
like ominous looking that they
Yeah.
have his eyes up in like the sky. It's pretty cool.
But that one didn't scare me like this one. I'm gonna
Yeah.
share it. So this was the poster that came out for the VHS marketing when it was released on VHS. I'll put it up here and I'll send you one. I mean, I'll just do real quick. It's easy to see. So it's Chucky with a knife, looking menacing, scary as hell. The first time I saw that poster, I mean, this movie came out. I was like 8 years
Yeah.
old, 9 years
88,
old.
right?
It's not
1988
like
is when it came out, I think, right?
88, yeah. So I'm not trying to age myself.
My bad.
So in my neighborhood, going back to Queens, right? You know how we had the mom and pop video stores
Yeah.
there. And we had one in Jackson Heights called Leisure Video. And that was the neighborhood one that we usually went to. It was on for anyone watching this that's from Queens or Jackson, it was on the corner of 82nd Street and I want to say 37th Ave, I believe.
I know where that is.
Huh?
I know where that is.
Yeah. It was a corner store.
Yeah.
So they had windows, the whole thing was windows and you could see in the store. They had a gigantic version of that image on the side of the store. Like on the corner facing, like if you're crossing the street over, you see it like from across the freaking street. I was, first of all, I was terrified of Chucky to begin with when I was a kid. Like that was the movie that scared me the most. I hated it. I was scared of the commercial. I didn't want to be home alone if the commercial came on. Not that I should be home alone at 8 or 9, but I was. It was a different time.
Watching TV alone, I guess. Yeah.
So I remember the movie came out, everything fine, whatever. It's out. I didn't really see it. The thing that scared me the most about Chucky, and I'm sorry to go off on this tangent, but it's the last one. My dad had a Fangoria magazine. On the cover, it had Michael Myers' Halloween 4 Goofy mask on the cover. That was the big story. But on the side panel of it, they had a little picture of Chucky. That was the first time I ever saw him. It's like a famous picture. You've seen it. It's just
I think I have that issue somewhere. I think I bought it like years later.
I think I actually have it too because it scared me so much that I wanted it, but I don't know where it is. But it scared the hell out of me just to see him. And so I never watched the movie. I'm like, I'm not watching that. It was just creepy.
Fuck that. You said.
So I'm walking to my friend's house. My friend lived on 84th Street. I lived on 77th at the time. I'm walking with my dad, I guess, going over there. I didn't really walk by myself that much at 8, 9 years old. And I see this giant poster of that image, and that's like the scariest I've ever seen Chucky look. And since I haven't seen him too much, right? Because I haven't seen the movie yet. And my heart dropped.
Oh my God.
I was so scared. I looked the other way, and ever since that poster went up, and it was a big one. It wasn't even like a little, it was like 27 by 40, super.
Wow,
like,
I wonder what that, like, it must have just been like a clinger, or maybe they put it on the window, like one of those.
It was literally a poster.
That huge?
It was big. It was like it was really big. Like
wow.
I'd say, I'm looking at my TV. It's like 65 inch. It was about that size.
Wow,
or it felt like that to me.
Bigger than a theatrical poster.
Yeah.
Like it was
like
huge.
a super promo, like put in the window poster. So that day, I would cross the street. I would ask my dad to, let's go to the store across the street, get candy. Or I would go, if I was walking on my own, which I guess I was at 9 because I remember this specifically, I would go a different route.
Oh my
God.
God.
I wouldn't have to see this poster.
Yeah.
But in retrospect, it's honestly, it's
pretty terrifying, dude. When you really think about it, it is scary.
It's just his expression, and it's a painting. I believe it's a painting of Chucky, and they did it just for the VHS because it wasn't the theatrical poster. So
it's funny. This cover of this VHS, I think, is the first time I ever saw Chucky as well. So I think I went to like a babysitter's house or something when I was a kid. Yeah. And I remember looking through the movies and grabbing this VHS, and it was this image too. So I think this image both scared the shit out of us and made us curious. of Chucky. I mean, when they were selling this movie on like to home video, they knew like there's spoilers be damned. The doll's alive and killing people. They were not playing around. So
like that thing, it's still creepy to me. Like I look at it and I'm like, why haven't they used like why wasn't this more popular?
Yeah.
Like as far as like marketing, like later in when they put it out on Blu-ray, DVD, like
I think it might have been in newspapers later. Like remember, movies would play in theaters for like months.
It was in newspapers.
Yeah, I think like Chucky because he became so popular, so people were like knew Chucky from the marketing, you know.
The tagline was like Chucky did it, right? Like
yeah.
Chucky did it, and I feel like definitely been in like I've seen it in black and white like for advertising stuff, but that's my number one because it's the one that actually terrified me.
Dude, the version I'm looking at on Google here, it says Chucky is one mean SOB from Roger Ebert. Yeah, Chucky is
it on there.
Roger Ebert. They had to quote Roger Ebert there to make sure you 3 stars. You make
3
sure
stars
you watch.
Pretty good for Roger Ebert in a horror movie.
Pretty solid for Roger Ebert, man. I mean, look at Chucky now, man. Like he is front and center on every piece of marketing.
I know. And it's not scary, but you know.
Yeah, and the first 3 posters, like that second one with him cutting the Jack in the Box head off. Iconic as well.
That was maybe in my list, but I don't want to put 2 Chucky posters. But
no, of course. And dare I say, part 3 with his face really close with the red eyes and the blood coming out from that was a pretty sick. I vividly remember going to Blockbuster and seeing that poster outside and just seeing them. You know where I remember seeing that poster? On the side of buses of the 3rd film. It was like Child's Play 3, and it would have like Chucky's face on like the right-hand side or left-hand side. So I vividly remember, man, Chucky, if you were a kid during these days, you had nightmares just by walking to the store because he was everywhere. That's how popular Chucky was.
For years, nightmares about Chucky.
I mean, fair. I think you were okay.
Even like as an adult, like every once. I mean, obviously, I have a Chucky doll right there.
Now you're not scared of him anymore.
Not scared of it, but every once in a while, I'll pop into like a weird dream. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
why am I dreaming about Chucky attacking me?
Man, it's. But I mean, that's you know what? That was the time, and I'm sorry I'm going so long on this. But that was the time, and I'm sure you'll agree, like, you said it, and that made me think, like, things were scary, but you were still curious about them.
Yeah, that was always me, man, as a kid.
You want to, like, oh, I don't know, that's scary, but what's going on? Let me see how scary it is, right?
Yeah.
Like,
dude, I remember being a kid, and this is my last tangent, and we'll go on to my pick. I remember being a kid and seeing the poster, like VHS art, and you know, poster art, VHS art go hand in hand, basically, of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, and being like, what is this movie? And little did I know it's a stupid movie. Both of them, the sequel's stupid too. And I was just like, I'm like, Killer Tomatoes, what the hell? And then the cartoon was on, so like I knew that there was a cartoon, but I didn't know it was based on a movie. So I was like, what? And then I finally saw it, and I was like, oh, this isn't a scary movie at all. It's a stupid movie.
It's not.
So it's like, you know, all these posters would misrepresent the film. But in this case, with the Child's Play original, you know, this poster art, I think it represents the film to a T. So, you know?
I mean, he was trying to kill a kid, basically.
Yes,
so it's also scarier than like teenagers or adults getting killed. You're like, this guy's after me, like people like me.
I mean, the whole plot is he wants to possess a little boy. So yeah. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, man.
Andrew is still believed by some to be living somewhere within this house.
So my final pick, and the final one we're going to be talking about in this episode, is from a 1981, in my opinion, underrated slasher film starring Linda Blair, one of my favorites. I do plan on us covering this in the future on a Haunted Hall episode because I fucking love this movie. And that's Hell Night. So I love Hell Night. I have always been a big fan. I believe the director is Tom DeSimone is the director of the film. I've always loved this movie. I'm a big fan of 80s Linda Blair. I love Savage Streets, one of my favorite films of all time as well, starring Linda Blair. I've always loved this movie. In a nutshell, the best way I could describe this film, if you're not familiar, because I think that out of my three picks, this one and Gates of Hell are probably the two movies some people might not be that familiar with. But in this film, Linda Blair and a couple of other people play like college age students, and they want to join this fraternity, sorority, and they're dared to stay in this mansion overnight to get into said sorority and fraternity. And what ends up happening is the house they're staying in has a mongoloid or mongoloids. There's more than one, I believe, if I remember correctly, in the film that live there. And there's this whole backstory. And they start killing people off. They try to play a prank on them to scare them. The people that are daring them, they get murdered. Some of the people that are part of Linda Blair's crew get offed. Everyone gets offed except for her. Spoiler alert, she's the only one that survives because it's fucking Linda Blair. And I've always loved the movie. It's just a fun film that feels like a Halloween movie, but it's not, because they're wearing costumes, but it's not a Halloween film. It just, something about it is Halloweeny, just the mansion, the costumes, the atmosphere. I think it's a underrated film based on the atmosphere the film has alone. I love it. It's one of my favorite slasher films from the 80s. I will never apologize for loving it as much as I do. Now,
I've never seen it.
You've never seen this?
I've never seen it.
Dude.
I don't even think I've heard of it until you sent me the poster the other day.
So I just spoiled the whole movie for you,
no,
Jason.
It's fine.
Sorry.
I'm going to have to watch it now.
So now we're going to talk about this poster.
Let's.
I think this poster describes the movie, so well. You've got this gate, which plays into the film because they're locked in, and the gate, they can't escape the gate, and this gate has like spikes on top of it. You've got the gate. You've got Linda Blair standing there. She's being lit from behind by moonlight. You can see it shining behind her. You've got two sets of creepy hands reaching for her. And then in the back, you've got the mansion I mentioned and trees, all spooky and creepy looking. And a couple of leaves on the floor there. Again, the fall Halloween atmosphere, even though I don't think the film is set in the fall. They never outright say it, but again, it has just kind of that vibe to me. And then you've got Linda Blair. Like I said, Linda Blair front and center, wearing her Victorian costume that she wears in the movie. It's so good. And in the corner, I should say, "Pray for Day" is the tagline there. I love it. I think this, like, when it comes to like not like the Nightmare on Elm Street film, like that movie, that the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, it embellishes some of what happens in the movie with those characters. They don't really match up. Dude, this legitimately is how she looks in the film and how the mansion looks, the gate, to a T. And the artist, I believe his name is, I wrote it down here, I jotted my notes, David Jarvis. He also did the poster art for The Warriors.
Really?
Yeah, same dude. There's that poster with all the Warriors.
Yeah, that's a great.
I think classic. That's another great poster. He designed that one. But dude, I love this poster. I love this movie. I could talk about it. I don't want to talk too much about it because I do want to cover it on the show soon. So this is a little teaser of something to look forward to later this year because I love Hell Night, man. I don't really hear people shit on the movie too much because I don't think a lot of people know about it, but I love it. It's so good. What do you think of this poster?
I like it a lot, actually. Having not seen the movie, just basing it on just basing it on how it looks. I like that it's different because like a lot of posters were pretty straightforward sometimes. Yeah. Like the perspective from the other side of the gate, and even at the top, like how it's like you just see part of the gate and the angle. The colors, like with the sky, at least in the version I'm looking at, the sky's like a little greenish blue. Like,
yeah, I mean the version I have is, I believe, the one sheet. It's like it's very a blue hue, and then like a white glow behind Linda Blair.
Yeah,
and dude, when you look at the details, like you can see her jewelry around her neck, around her wrist. She has a ring on. It's so detailed.
It's really good, and I like the house and the trees, everything. Like it goes all the way back. Like they put a lot of detail into it.
Yeah, the
Like I said,
cleave,
main
the
thing I like
cleave,
is perspective.
respect. The cleave is very pronounced in the center.
Yeah.
So respectfully, Linda Blair, her
Yeah,
cleavage is very, very visible.
I know.
So-
I know why you were a fan.
No,
No, it looks great. It's a really cool poster. Like
Yeah,
it makes
yeah.
me want to see the movie that I haven't.
yeah, it's a great. I mean, I'm gonna go more in depth when I eventually cover the film. I love it, dude. I will always die on the hill that Hell Night is a great slasher film, underrated, and it doesn't get enough love or respect. So,
If I can rent it on like Amazon or something, whatever, I'm gonna do it like this week.
dude, watch it and let me know what you think.
Yeah,
I'm so curious.
I'll definitely
your
do
opinion.
it so we can compare notes.
I'm shocked that you've never watched this movie. So.
I'm shocked. I've not heard of it. When you sent me the thing, I go, "What the frick is this?"
Dude.
Like I was like, "Okay."
So,
I like the poster. I was like, "What movie is this?"
So good. I love it. All right, Jason, we're going to wrap up the show here. If you had to pick a poster from my three, that's your favorite, which one are you going to go with?
Of the three you picked, sounds terrible. What was the first one? You had Nightmare on Elm
Gates of
Street?
Hell
Gates of Hell.
with the zombie head
Sorry, I know we
floating.
talked about it so much. Okay.
The Gates of Hell with the zombie floating.
I got to go with the Freddy.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's your Dream Warriors poster you're going to go with.
I like the colors a lot on it.
Okay.
And you know what I think of? I think of like when we were talking about House of the Devil. If you pull off the text and everything, which would I want to hang up?
Yeah.
That would be the one.
I get it. Honestly, it's the most iconic of the three I picked as well.
The Gates of Hell one though is right there with it because that you could also hang that up without text and it's just a cool image.
Yeah, I get it. It's like I when I picked these three, I was like, he's probably gonna pick Dream Warriors as his favorite because I mean, like looking at all three, it is probably the most beautiful looking one. The colors,
that's how I see it. Like
the artistry is really just on point with that poster. Now, if I had to pick out of your three, I'm gonna go with House of the Devil. I similar to the Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors poster. I think it embellishes just enough with the house on fire.
Yeah.
But then also adds her all bloody with the gown on, which does happen in the movie. So it represents the film the most and is the most beautiful looking poster of your three as well. Listen, I love the Maniac one. That's a Blu-ray flippity dippity poster, whatever.
The secret poster that doesn't exist, apparently.
Apparently Mandela effect poster that doesn't exist. The Chucky one was used as a poster and as a VHS and an advertisement, so that's kind of an offshoot poster art. This one I've seen on covers. I've seen it as a poster. I've seen people that you have a copy of this as a poster. It is just a great poster. And I would say it's as iconic. It's probably one of the more iconic posters to come out in the last 20 years for a horror film.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's my pick. That's my my favorite of your three.
I think that's a fair pick.
So that was some of our favorite horror movie posters. Jason, as always, thank you so much for being on the show again after 100 years. Where can people find you and truehorror.net, which is pretty obvious?
You can go to the site to see some of the work I have up there and the portfolios and a lot of the current stuff or anything new. Best to find me on Instagram, and it's just True Horror Net on Instagram.
Check out all of Jason's stuff.
Drop me a line, say what up.
Yes, check out all of his work. Say what's up to him. Hire this man to design a poster for you, some art for your podcast, some art for your website, some art for your social media. My dude's talented, and I'm just gonna show him here on the show even more. And yes, be sure to subscribe, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky, all that good stuff at Haunted Hangover. Head over to hauntedhangover.com where you can find links to everything, including the Patreon page. We can gain early access to episodes, bonus content, and so much more. rate and review us. It'd be greatly appreciated. And as always, remember, the best cure for a hangover is...
Or booze.
Catch you guys later.